Hey folks, in the last video you would have seen the complete framing that happened for the screen backbone. In this video I'm going to show you how the screen was constructed as well as the panels that surrounded the screens. So you will see a complete progression from the start of the construction of the screen, the design for the screen, and then wrapping it, then mounting it, anchoring it, as well as the construction of the panels. So stay tuned. So where we left off in the last video was we completed the construction of the backbone frame. The picture that you're seeing right now on the screen is where we ended up at the end of the last video. If you want the details of this construction, go through that specific video. Now in this particular video, what we're going to show is the construction of the screen and the supporting panels. So the gap in the middle that you're seeing is the gap for the 120-inch screen. So the screen is going to be mounted there with the support frame acting as a backbone. And then the left and the right and the top and the bottom are going to be panels that are going to be constructed, and they will sandwich the screen in between. So the way I started going about this was initially what was constructed, as you're seeing in the picture here, was for the screen. I constructed it using the 1x3 poplar board that you get at Home Depot. It's important to use the 1x3 poplar so that it can prevent any kind of warping that might happen in the future. The other key thing to remember here is that you need to get perfectly straight 1x3 poplars, so that because the screen is extremely important to have it get aligned and straight. So this particular frame was constructed using this 1x3 poplar. The dimensions of this are basically the same as that of the 120-inch screen that needs to be constructed. Now, as you're seeing in the second picture here, you will see the cross supports that are there for the frame. These are basically to add some stability to the frame so that it can hang well without any kind of warping or breakages in between. Now, once this is completed, what I did next was to see if it would actually go and fit in the dimensions that we have carved out. So the picture that you're seeing right now shows you the tabs that have been installed all over the supporting frame. The picture that you're seeing right now is basically the tab installation that goes all around on the backbone frame that has been constructed. The purpose of this is that it is something used to anchor the structure placed in the front of the frame to the back of the frame. And also the other advantage of this is not all pieces of wood are cut exactly straight. So if by any chance the screen or the frame or something is out of alignment, by tightening or loosening the tabs, I can expand or contract based on how much and how tight I want to keep them. So this is the other purpose of it. So the picture that you're seeing right now is the actual constructed screen frame. As you're seeing the tabs on the top to the right hand side and the left hand side, and you're seeing the screen frame that has been constructed. I've just kept it on the ground right now, and in the next picture you're going to see it hanging on the support. So as you're seeing, it is a perfect fit. The dimensions are really important. You're seeing all the tabs at the bottom at the top as well, where it's holding the support the screen frame to the support frame, and the sides are basically holding the screen frame as well. So it's basically held and supported in multiple places. Now then I took it off, and then the next step that was done, the picture that you're seeing right now, is the black spandex, right? So this screen basically takes about 3 yards of black spandex and white spandex. The approach is that we want to first wrap it with black spandex, and then we want to wrap it with white spandex, right? Spandex is an extremely stretchable material, and as you're seeing here, I laid the spandex first on the floor and then kept this frame on top of it. If you're looking at it, it's exactly almost the same size as the size of the frame, with very little overhang on all the sides, right? So this is extremely important because you want to create a very tight kind of wrapping so that you can keep pulling from the sides and kind of stapling it. But before we go into that, I want to also share with you the stapling sequence. The picture that you're seeing here shows you the sample stapling sequence. If you follow the numbers here, the numbers basically tell you about how you want to pull the fabric and staple it to the frame. So if you're looking at number 1 here, what it says is that you're supposed to pull it on the left hand, pull it on one side in the middle and staple it. Then after that you go to this opposite side, pull it and staple it. Then you come to number 3, which is the side, and pull it and staple it, and number 4. So all the 4 sides, the middle is stapled now. Then you move to number 5, which is a diagonal, right? So you first did the opposite to opposite on the sides. Now you're going to go you're going to do the opposite diagonals. So 5, 6, 7, and 8 are showing you the diagonals that are done, right? And then after that you go on to number 10, number 9, number 10, number 11, number 12. So basically, as it's showing you, it's opposite to opposite, right? It's taking place at 9 and then 10 and then 11 is right opposite 10 and then 12. So all you're doing is that you're going opposite to opposite, opposite to opposite to make sure that it has an even stretch all along. So once you're done with that, what ends up happening is you're going to have something similar to the screen frame that you're seeing right now on the screen. We had initially shown you mounted on the supports without the spandex. Now you're seeing it with the black spandex. So it's a perfect fit so far. So I took it off again, and then now the next step you're seeing is the white spandex is spread on the floor. Again, the same 3 yards. Then you're wrapping it with the wrapping it on the frame, and then the next picture you're showing is the wrapped frame with the white spandex, and then the picture after that shows you the frame actually hanging on the support. So the screen is completely done now. As you're seeing, there's no wrinkles or anything. It's a perfectly done screen. So everything is aligning perfectly. Now next steps after this are basically to construct the panels at the top and bottom and left and right. So what I'm going to walk you through right now is basically the way that I constructed the panels. So the screen actually had a double layer spandex. It had a black backing and a white. In the case of panels, what we're going to do is we're going to have a double layer of black spandex, right? What it's going to do is it's going to be acoustically transparent, so that when you put the speakers behind it, the sound is going to come through, right? The sound is also going to come through the middle of the screen by placing the speaker behind the screen, but on the left and right as well, the same thing is going to happen. So it's almost the same construction. If you're looking at the picture now, it shows you the one of the panels being constructed on the left hand side, right? So this was constructed. The support framing is a little bit different here. Instead of doing a support which runs from one end to another, what we're doing is we're putting cross braces here to make it stand vertically. So once this was done, the next step involved was actually, you're seeing here, is the spandex was wrapped around it. 2 layers of spandex was wrapped around it. So this completed the panel for the left and the right. Similarly, the top and the bottom panels were done, but the only difference between the top and the bottom and the left and the right is that for the top and the bottom, instead of spandex, what I'm using is Sai Fabrics as a manufacturer. Triple black velvet is what I'm using. So basically, you have the spandex on the left and the right, and triple black velvet on the top and the bottom. So if you're seeing the fully constructed screen right now, the screen with the top and the bottom panels, the picture that shows you right now, it's showing you the top and the bottom with the Sai Fabrics triple black velvet. So what I did then was on the right and the left for the spandex construction for the panels, I also inserted a small 2x3 in between the screen and the right panel, and same with the screen and the left panel, which is also wrapped with triple black velvet. The reason was was to create like a black velvet kind of box around the screen, right? So that's the reason it was done. So the next picture you're seeing is basically where all of them have come together and basically shows you the full screen constructed with the triple black velvet on the top, the bottom, a small bar on the right and small bar on the left, and the right panel and the left panel. So this basically completes the construction of the screen. How it's basically held all together is the tab structure that I showed you previously. The tabs are basically holding everything together and connecting them to the support frame at the back, right? So by tightening the tab or loosening it, I can have movements to the right or to the left in case of any misalignments and stuff like that. So this basically completes the video for the screen and the panel construction. Hopefully this was useful. If you have any questions, please feel free to post and comment, and I'll make sure I do my best in answering them. Thank you so much.